Sorry about that. I thought it was you can probably hear me typing. I thought it was muted. Sorry if you just heard a bunch of clickety clack there. Um by the way, I don't remember if I posted it last time. But this album is incredibly good. It's got some like weird, really background sort of vocals that are really cool, like screams and owls and shit. But there we go. But it's mostly ambient and mostly instrumental. But here, I'll post the link. It's really good shit, very good shit. It's called it's somebody called Heavenward. The album's called Suicide Forest. Cosmonialism. Yeah, good stuff. It's actually really pretty, very pretty album. Anyway, just wanted to share that. So I want to get to the bottom of this, or discuss it a little bit, because I've seen it just about everywhere, and it's confusing me as to how it just keeps getting perpetuated, and I'm just like, okay. And again, this is my opinion. I based on a combination of, you know, probably being probably being the person that's ever talked to, engaged with, whether, you know, verbally or through writing, the person who's talked to and engaged with the most schizoids probably in human history, I guess. It's not like a flex. It is what it is. And then on top of that, the literature, and on top of that, my own experiences, my own recovery when it comes to a lot of these adaptations, which I have made significant progress differentiating what is the PD and what is just me. And, you know, a lot of confusion that comes with that as well. But anyway, so this is where my opinion's coming from like that. And then doing this channel and whatever for like 4 years. So just so I guess I have some level of learnedness and the credibility when it comes to the subject. I guess, I don't know, people care about that kind of shit, just in case anybody is listening that does. Okay, so there seems to be a lot of confusion as to the core reasons why a schizoid will be either almost or completely asocial, or they mask in order to navigate the social world, but they would rather just be alone, isolated, so on and so forth, right? Now, it's not, how do I put this more easily? They are not staying away from people because they think people are going to hurt them, right? They're not afraid of people. They're also not afraid of being hurt by people, well, at least not like in a emotional way. I mean, obviously anyone's afraid of, like, you know, being attacked physically or having their assets moved, destroyed, or life ruined. I mean, that would be shitty. And they're not afraid of the pain of being left, being rejected. That is not why the Zoid stays away from people. There are other categories within attachment style and all sorts of literature. Why am I so pale on this? Hold on. It's kind of driving me crazy because I do not know why I'm like practically glowing. So let me see if I can fix this. Is just I can't even look at like my face. It's just too damn bright. No, that's not helping at all. It's gamma. It's a gamma issue. Yeah, there we go. All right, there we go. That's a lot better. Yeah, you can't see the bags under my eyes. Come on, it's part of the brand. Schizoid brand. But there are already attachment style theories and ideas, other types of PDs and issues that feel all that stuff. Like, that stuff is like chock full, like understood. It's all over the fucking place. And the closest thing to behaviors that somebody would exhibit that is more in line with I'm afraid of them leaving me and they will hurt me and hate me. Like I put in the poll, there's a poll, please answer it, give it a shot. Try to be as honest with yourself as possible. Those two things, they're all over the place, and other attachment style categories and all that, right? But anyway, what I was saying, the closest thing you'll see in some somebody that's non-schizoid that like will display very schizoid looking behaviors is going to be someone that it has a dismissive, avoidant attachment style that's also gotten to the level, because just an attachment style doesn't mean you have a personality disorder. It's usually when that attachment style becomes so excessive at times, or intrusive, obstructive to your life and your ability to just do a lot of things that you want to do, right? And so, you know, a dismissive, avoidant person, or someone that's to the level where they would be categorized as having an avoidant personality disorder, right? Because it's usually you're going to have an anxious avoidant and you're going to have a dismissive avoidant, and it gets to a personality disorder when it gets to that level, right? When you get super sane, you know, mental illness action. And so they will push people away, maybe say emotionally hurtful stuff like I never cared anyway, I knew this wasn't going to work out, I should have never even tried. Like, you know, they'll say things that devalue the other person, right, to protect their own like emotional state. They'll devalue the other person, not in some like aggressive or like narcissistic style way, but it's more like oh, I don't need people anyway, I didn't need him, I didn't need her, like I'm better off just being alone, it's so much better, no drama, right? Like this kind of like internally they're struggling about being left, being rejected, or being like intruded upon emotionally by a person that's like wanting to get more emotionally intimate with them, right? They become like, they're like running from something. They're running from that emotion, that vulnerability. They're just taking off, right? Or pushing it all away, right? That's what you see with somebody that has dismissive avoidant to that level, that it's a PD, where they basically live alone, push others away, maybe even fantasize about interpersonal stuff, or that would be so much better, or only want to be around people that won't do that kind of stuff, whatever. And it really looks, it could look behavior wise to someone that doesn't understand the internal mechanisms of some of this stuff, that that's a schizoid too, right? It's like, no. Okay, let me go to the difference. Now the difference is in the two answers that I put in there, right? Now I'm not claiming, oh, if you answer this or you answer that, you're not this, you're not that. No, I don't have, I mean, I could think that. I could think, oh yeah, it's probably not what's going on with you, but I can't like make claims. I am not a professional. I cannot do this. I hate that I have to repeat that stuff, but like, people are stupid, and if you don't say it, they claim that your opinion is like you're being declarative about everything you're saying, like as some truth. I am not doing that. Please hear my words. Thank you. All right. So with the schizoid, you've got the obligations it comes with, not just that alone. And I tried, and it felt like nothing. Those two, I bet the people that picked one of those two would probably pick both if they could. Right? Maybe one is more pervasive than the other, the feeling or the issue. But basically, it comes down to when you're with people, when you're around, you are not anxious because of a threat of being hurt emotionally. You are not, you might be anxious for other reasons, but that's a whole different thing. But I would say most schizoids are not anxious around people. They are frustrated, bored, tired, which leads to indifference, apathy. Sometimes it kicks in the anhedonia or the avolition. And it's because what they fundamentally want to experience with others is not what people generally want to experience with each other. The expectations that people have, they're not like just social rules that the schizoid just, oh, I don't want to do it. No, it's, these things are unintuitive. These things are confusing. These things are painful to even pretend to care about and do in the ways that you are displaying them and expecting me to display them. I don't feel scared about your feelings. I don't feel scared so much about my feelings that regarding, you know, how other people see me, that I'm just coping by like pretending I don't care, right? That's what somebody that's more like dismissive, avoidant would do. They would do that. Okay, so that's a difference in my mind. Very important. Now, why would the schizoids stay away from people? Because he gets nothing out of the interactions but grief, frustration, whatever word, right? It might like just push the right buttons to fuck with depression, because they're sitting there and they're participating in these things and they feel like they're just masquerading, if they masquerade, if they're a masking type, or they just feel out of their element. They're just like, why do people like it? Literally, there's a confusion of like, why do people like doing this? Like, why is this like normal? And then obviously it starts with the whole, what's wrong with me? Especially when you're like, what's wrong with me? A lot of schizoids struggle with the idea, oh, I must be some kind of psychopath or sociopath, right? When they don't know about the schizoid stuff. But, you know, they don't have like these impulses to like control people, do anything power dynamics related is not like the primary like concern. Okay, I'll tell you what the number one thing for schizoids is: autonomy. Autonomy. Hear me clearly, please. If the reason you stay away from others is because they and their needs and how they behave and how things function makes you feel like you're just being stripped of your autonomy, I'm not talking just like just your emotional autonomy, right? Like, oh, I can't feel my own feel. No. Like literally, like you feel like you're in a prison, like a social prison that you just don't want to take part in. And it's not because you're above it. Again, some Zoids will do this devalue cope thing, but in actuality, they don't. It can be a kind of a cope. I've heard it. Like, I wouldn't say devalue, but to become misanthropic about like humanity as a whole. It's not productive. It's not useful to go that route. I did it in my like early, like my 20s and my teens. I was like the misanthrope. You know, all people are trash. All people are evil. The world is evil and disgusting. This and this and that, and I don't want to take part in it because it's nothing but power struggles and it's gross, because I don't even care about that shit, right? I was kind of devaluing like my own species, which was like, it's not helpful. Okay, so besides that, you just want to stay outside of what this all is. Because your concerns, your motivations, although obviously very nebulous, because oftentimes you're not even sure what it is you actually want or care about, that is part of the issue, right? You did not fully develop, or you developed aspects of the creation of your like sense of self. There's always a self, but your sense of self, your emotional range, oftentimes has been blunted, stunted by the trauma of existing as a person that lives in a world that doesn't make sense, and you're being forced to take part in it. That is what's important. Okay, I talk about that. I believe that all schizoids, like legitimate schizoids that feel the way I'm describing, and it's not just some like dismissive, like devaluing cope, right? Because you're protecting your feelings, right? If that's not what you're doing, and you have a sincere, what is all this shit, right? That feeling, like and it became more like, it became stronger and stronger. You became more resentful about having to do any of it and take part in it, whether it's like, career stuff, career politics, right? The social elements of like so many things, right? I'm not saying you're lazy, you don't want to do shit. You may be, but that's a different thing. But like a dream would be to do something you find productive and not like just completely draining, and be left alone to do it, or be left alone to the degree in which it's not part of the job. It's not part of what you're attempting to work on or do, right? Beyond that, just be left alone, because you want to just do the thing, because the thing is you find more pleasure, you find more enjoyment in the thing, not all the people doing the people things all the time. Those things are actually draining and tiring. Like, I'll give you an example, right? It's something that's always been personal to me. If you've ever had people that work, if you've worked, especially if you've worked, 5 days a week, 40-hour job, maybe whatever, even if it's a part-time job, whatever, you worked on weekdays, right? And then the weekend comes, if you have that kind of job, everyone's different. And people, what do the people do on the weekend? They go party. They go out to dinner with friends. They do all this stuff, right? That is the primary like reason, is because they find the socializing itself, right, in the way that they do it, they find that re-energizing. They find that enjoyable. They go through the weekend, it recharges them to get back to work, back to the grind. Nobody likes the grind. Zoid, non-Zoid, whatever, like, nobody likes the grind. No one's happy with that. What is the point of this stupid surface crap? Why do I have to care about my status and status of others? Just let me be me. Yeah, and it's not surface crap, Monica. I just want to clarify. Not my opinion is not surface crap. It's just not our crap. Okay? We have different crap. It's still all silly crap, in many ways, but it's just different crap. It's not worse crap. It's not shallow crap. It's just that is their modus operandi. And it's not mine, and it's not the schizoid's modus. It's just not. There, and here you're like, but then why? Are they just like, their brains just fucked up? No. This is how I tie it in to the stuff that I regularly talk about. Schizoids, and I just want to clarify, schizoids are neurodivergent, but not because they're schizoids. Schizoid personality disorder is a personality disorder that came from trauma. I believe that. What makes them uninterested, disconnected from the conventional stuff, even from like from teen or earlier, right, is not because they were born that way. What I think happened is that they're an cognitively neurodivergent person that is different in that in their brain, enough that it affects their ability, not even ability, it affects their intuitiveness toward finding enjoyment, pleasure, excitement, dopamine spikes from things that generally make people get that when they do this stuff. And there's a group of people that also have trouble with this, but they don't always get a personality disorder. Well, groups of people. And we're talking about people like myself that are more kind of, I guess, schizoid, right? In my thinking, my experiences, how I process information, what have you. And then you got autists. You got the as the favorite words that came up, the macro that we made up, me and my friend. Yes, I have a friend. Me and my friend made up, which is macro-associative and micro-associative. It's made up, but I think it's a really great set of words. Macro-associative is the kind of schizoid person. Micro-associative is the more autistic person. That's where their mind intuitively goes to process things and information. Doesn't mean they can't do the other shit. Doesn't mean they can't understand other shit or put their... But that's not where they're intuitively at. That's not their what they wake up in the morning and their headspace is like. First thing in the morning. Right? And I do not understand how this is not something that's already like being studied or researched or looked into. It's tragic. It's tragic because I think it's an insane thing to think that trauma is the same for everyone when it comes to like what would be considered traumatic when you're talking about neurodivergent people that have that much of a cognitive difference that it changes their kind of associative experience with the world. I've spoken to people that are not schizoid, and I've watched stuff that are not schizoid. They have what would be considered more conventional kinds of trauma that is really bad, like being around domestic abuse, being physically abused, sexually abused, all kinds of shit like that, right? When they're neurodivergent, the way they processed all that shit that happened to them is very, very different. The parts that were traumatic and why they were traumatic is very, very different. So different often that the regular person, upon hearing it, probably would either think that person's weird, crazy, insane, or think that person's like coping somehow, and that the real core issues, like the thing that the books say about a certain kind of trauma relating to certain kinds of abuse, because that rule is generally good for the average person. But to think that somebody that's neurodivergent to that degree is going to experience it the same way, and so the treatment needs to be approached the same way, is fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. Okay? And anyway, I'm not gonna get myself riled up over this shit. Let's say the surface crap of others, their desire to talk about weather and what they over the weekend, that stuff drags the heck out of me. Office politics is debating my existence. Yeah, but that's important to them. That's the difference I'm saying, Monica. That stuff's actually important to them. They don't talk about the weather because like, they really like the weather. They talk about the weather because they want to socially engage with the person that's next to them. They feel inclined to, because it's normal for them. So they pick a topic that everyone has a stake in, the weather. All right. It's also, and there is some interesting work on this, it's also a means that a socially concerned person can check the threat level of the person that they're in the room with, especially like a stranger or a person. I'm not talking about threat level like, oh, are they gonna kill me, right? I'm sure there's some monkey brain shit in there going on, but they're also emotional threat level, inconvenience, to my life threat level. It's like, oh, this is what people say. This is how people respond. Oh, this is a normal person. That there is nothing scary. There's no surprises that are going to happen. A metric? Yeah, fair. But anyway, getting back on track, because I always go off. Those are the big differences. It's the motivation for the isolation, for the social kind of apathy and disgust and frustration and drain. They're very different. And I keep having this issue, even in my own server that I and others designed for schizoids to be able to do a lot of things that I'm not going to repeat again, right? That are, I consider them to be therapeutic almost, right? A support system that actually functions in the way that it's intended to for the people that it's intended for. And I have people, and it's a really hard thing to do, but we have an application process. We have to have it. Otherwise, it just becomes a free-for-all fucking server. And there's plenty free-for-all mental health servers. So fucking many. And a lot of them don't vet because they're afraid of invalidating people's feelings or something. Or making them feel rejected, right? That's why we have this process. Because a Zoid that's interested in joining that server, they're just going to do the thing. They're going to do two things. They're going to see, oh, I don't want to write all that. That's too much. Oh. And then just leave. Maybe come back some other time. Or they're just going to do it, and they're going to take it seriously. They're going to put the stuff in, right? And then we can go through that stuff, me and my moderation team, and go, oh, okay, this falls in line, not just with the DSM or the ICD, because that shit's fucking trash when it comes to like figuring this shit out for Zoids, but in our individual experiences with the things I mentioned and discussed, and the ones we've seen and I've seen keep occurring, the same patterns, same templates in many ways. And they keep happening. The same responses, like the same lack of emotionality when it comes to specific things, because schizoids are very emotional people. They're just not socially emotional people. Some of them are not so emotional because, again, it could even like lead up to, for some of them, to where it's almost like alexithymia. Or it is, right? You know, there are Zoids that are more detached, others that are more dissociative, but they're both a bit of something. A significant bit of those things, to whatever degree. But yeah, we'll try our best with the application. The person will get in, and this happens all the time. And then they'll start just displaying the concerns, core issues, worries that I just differentiated. They're displaying the ones where they push people away because they're afraid of being hurt by others, abandoned by others. They might be really already fully aware of this, or they might not be that aware that that's the reason they do it. Okay? That's not why schizoids, in my opinion, do it. They do not do it for that reason. And let me explain to you something very interesting as well. For myself and other Zoids I've seen essentially be able to start creating attachments. That's part of the issue, right? They just can't even create an attachment. They're not trying to stay away from attachment. They don't know where to fucking start, and they're not even sure they want to, because every attempt only provided just nothing. Not fear, not sorrow, No, it's just like fucking nothing, right? And the stuff that they do enjoy doing with others is not the main reason people are around each other. When I was growing up, I would go to LAN parties. I would play Dungeons and Dragons. I wanted to play the fucking game. I wanted to talk about the shit in the game. When we're talking about something of a topic that I'm interested in, I wanted to talk about the topic, not about how you feel about the topic. That's fine. You can express that through the communication, but that is not what I want the conversation to be about. I'm not trying to learn about you by talking to you about subject matter that I find interesting. My concern is to not learn about you and seek out potential friends. That's not intuitive to me. Okay? Now, I may seek out, because this is more with my ADHD, I may seek out novelty, and I may seek out, I may put myself out there a little bit for people that have similar interests, just because I want people around me that will just do the thing. Now, the moment they stop making it about the thing, right? If something else organically happens, I don't have an issue with that. But the moment it's not about the stuff, I'm just, what am I doing here? I'm bored. Now, what do you want from me? What is it you need me to provide now? I thought we were cool just doing the thing. Like, I thought you were enjoying just doing the thing as much as I was. And that's good enough. It's like some people can't fathom thinking that way, experiencing certain things a certain way, without trying to make it all about psychoanalysis. Like when I say these things, I guarantee you there's people that either think I'm like not aware of the cope or whatever, or they think that like I'm lying to myself or something fucking like that. I've heard that shit so many fucking times. That's more frustrating to hear than anything else. Interpersonal connection as a byproduct. And this is here, but this is what makes it fucking annoying too. I hate the word interpersonal connection because it's like not inefficient. It's inaccurate. It's so inaccurate. Because when people say interpersonal connection, what are they doing? They're talking about the types of interpersonal connection that people generally have with each other. Whether it's positive or toxic or whatever, there's just, this is what interpersonal connection is. Right? I disagree with that. Especially as someone that's like recovered from many of these kind of zoid things. I'm 40, been at this shit, I guess, for a bit, dealing with it. I now can do interpersonal connections between people. Guess what? Both parties are still primarily concerned with things that are not, I want you to be my friend. I want you to be my girlfriend, my boyfriend. I want you to be my community. The friendships I've established with people are because they feel the same as I do, and there's no strings attached. It's just we see each other when we see each other, and we enjoy doing activities together. And when we want to talk about a struggle we're having, we can, but neither is expecting the other to be obligated to support and rescue them. If the other decides to, cool. If the other does not, respect to your boundary. How is this that complicated? The things that would make somebody a bad friend to the average person would probably make somebody a good friend to the schizoid. And I'm not talking about being a piece of shit or an asshole. No, schizoids tend to be very conscientious because of their obsession with autonomy, essentially. Because that's the core trauma. Is as a child growing up, more and more they felt their autonomy was being stripped of them because they were more and more being forced to be involved in a social world that makes no fucking sense to them. How is that not going to strip you of your fucking autonomy? How is that not going to traumatize the living fuck out of you? It's like a fucking prison. And unless you have like neat bucks, serious neat bucks, or like a family that takes care of you, and you probably hate that as well. Hold on, my daughter. Yeah, my 5-year-old, she's wacky and the best. Here, let me play some more tunes. Please don't play a commercial. Please don't play a commercial. No, no commercial. Thank you. All right. Yeah, this. No, I don't think. No, I don't want to hear this. I don't know what the fuck this is. No, no. Just give me. Don't. That works. Whatever. Anyway. They're great conduits for cheese and salami, but it's about salami, not the cracker. What are you currently discussing? Just joined. I would suggest we're kind of deep into it there, Majda. I would suggest like ask chat, or rewind the live stream or something. That'd be probably like more helpful because I don't want to have to repeat. But it's a hard thing to like just say in a sentence. I guess the main topic, the difference between what people often, like the confusion people have between like what motivates the schizoid to stay away from others and what motivates others to types of people to stay away from others, and the constant confusion among people that think they have it or think that's what it is when it's not, in my opinion. Just my armchair shit. Like, there's been times where, you know, I'm going through, even like on the server, like I'm going through like, I go through this shit. I'm lurking all the time, just randomly checking at different times of the day, especially the ones that are more serious. Sometimes I don't catch it, but I tend to. And you know, we have a section there, right, called no reply. And basically, it's where somebody can grieve, vent about something. It's frustrating in their lives. And then no one's supposed to, like, reply to it with a message. You can put, like, an email or emoji or whatever, but that's it. And we have a no reply happy, which is, like, when the schizoid actually, like, feels good about something that day, like, a little extra good. And then they report it. And then no one's, like, replying or, you know, requiring you to want to talk about it or anything. That's for that spot. You can in the other channels, but that's for that spot. That's one of my favorite places to just peruse every single day. Okay. Now, this might upset somebody out there, but when I see stuff in there, like I'm scrolling, I'm like, yep. Most 90% of the time, I'm scrolling through there, I'm like, yep, another one. Mm-hmm. Yep. Been there. Yep. Heard that one. Right. And then occasionally there'll be this like one that's like, why won't, like, I'm exaggerating, but like it'll be like, why won't she love me or something like that. And I'm like, the fuck? Huh? What's happening? Like it like automatically makes me just go, Huh? And then, you know, you check, you know, you search just a little bit of message history, and you're like, oh, 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 oh. The application process is not foolproof. Obviously, I'm a fool. And so, yes, and so this is part of the reason I'm bringing this up. And it sucks because, as I've talked about in other servers, schizoids have a propensity to knee-jerk react to seeing someone else's autonomy be under, like, fire in any way. Like, if I could say that, like, schizoids oftentimes have a sensitivity when it comes to, like, other people, like maybe with their more like strongly cognitively empathetic, even maybe sometimes almost on a more unaware level, like effectively empathetic, is when they see other human beings be stripped of their autonomy by other human beings, like control and power in some way or another. And even if it's something really silly, like a server, it's often very triggering to them. And they'll say a lot of things. They'll make logical arguments that are oftentimes like not even like they don't know the context, so they're just like making a bunch of assumptions based on only what they saw, which is something they probably don't do for a lot of other shit. I hope they don't do that, but they do it for this. They'll do it for this, no problem. Seen it happen thousands of times. And the automatic response, the knee jerk, is like, especially as the owner and is like, you guys, tyrannical power, you know, like power. Oh, you're fucking doing some shit where like you're trying to impose your power on me. You're fucking, you know, this and that. It's like, and it feels like they're not even like, when this happens, it feels like they're not even talking about us specifically. It feels like they're talking about like the position of believing that you're in a place where you can control something about people in general is what they're very sensitive to. I mean, that's usually why, like, schizoids tend to be really, really hyper aware of attempts of that kind on them. So a lot of other types of issues, personality disorders, attachment style issues, they'll pick up on them pretty quickly because it's so unintuitive. It's gotten to the point of aversive to them, right? It's wild. It's wild. I've even had situations where, like, you know, the mods we have now, like, or in the past, like, they were on the other side. They weren't a mod for the server, and then it's not like we're moderating content. Like, we're not just like fucking cracking down, like, and then they come to this side. They come to the side where they have to moderate, and then they see how the people in that place are actually interacting and discussing this stuff, and then they go, oh, look, these are not a bunch of fucking narcs that want to control a little server or some shit. They're doing their best. And then they're on the other end of like these weird accusations of stuff, and then they experience like, what the fuck, like, what? No, it's not what we're doing. We're not seeing somebody and going, I don't like them. I don't like what they said. It hurt my feelings. Get them. That's not what's happening. This happens in a lot of servers. I get that. Reddit's, all that shit. I get that. Yeah, I get that. And it's not like, oh, they're having ideology that like is against mine. And it's what's really funny is when we have like, I'm not saying every time, but there's been a lot of times where we've banned somebody for the reasons that we think are legitimate, and like we'll try to talk to them after, being like, hey, we try to be as like fucking transparent as we can. We'll say like, hey, this is the reason, this is why, you know, we feel like this place is not going to be helpful to you or the people there. We feel that there are issues popping up that might be better served or helped or supported in a different place. Like, it's like we're literally integrating like empathy into the process of having to ban somebody or for reasons like that. Right? We're going that extra fucking mile. And you know what happens a lot of the time? They get really mad. And they start saying like weird shit about like, you know, and it's like very unzoidy shit about like, oh, fuck you. Nobody, you know, I'm not, like, I'm rejecting you. You're not rejecting me. Kind of attitude. I knew you guys were gonna be fucking assholes anyway. Really like weird shit like that. Really angry, really offended, really like, I'll tell you right now, the average Zoid, even if they like, if a Zoid got like, I don't know, kicked out of something, whether it's a club or whatever, the first thing they're going to think about is, well, there's going to be a couple of things, but one of the things they're going to think about is, oh, damn, they had pretty good sandwiches there. Like, that's it, man. There's going to be some concern that isn't, my friends, I'm being rejected by others. You know, like, you know, that's not going to be the thing, man. They might be just disappointed, like, oh, man, that sucks. That place had potential for some good shit. Like to do cool stuff. Oh, well, that's how it goes. That's how they react to this shit. And it's not like, oh, I'm just, fuck. No, I don't fucking fuck that place. You know, like, or it's not like, you know, like, oh, well, I'm better than that place. I'm actually glad they kicked me out. Like, that is not what's happening. If that's what's happening to you, please do not join the server. It's not going to be, it's just going to end up bad. It's going to go bad for you and maybe for others. The ones that I feel like the saddest about, because the ones that get like crazy like that are usually like, and like I said, this is just my armchair shit. They're usually more like intellectually narcissistic or like more like ASPD-ish, like really like combative and paranoid about others, like betraying them or thinking they can make me do what they want, and getting like really aggressive and really pissed, really emotionally charged about it. Right? Okay. So it's this. I'm just trying to be as transparent about this shit as possible. I hope this is useful to whoever's listening. I hope you're not interpreting this as, you really fuck this guy think he is, telling me what I am and I'm not. I'm not doing that. I'm trying to just figure out what's the most beneficial for the people there and yourself. Because it's sure as shit ain't being here. And this is another thing I want to mention. The people I feel the worst about, like really bad about having to just basically go like, yo, yeah, this is not gonna, this is probably not, whatever, is people that are anxious, have an anxious avoidant attachment. So I feel so fucking bad for them, especially them, because like the reason, and even I'm dismissive too, but the reason they're there and they're comfortable and they're having a good time is because everyone there is really non-judgmental most of the time. Everyone there is just mostly just chill. They're not socially judging. The power dynamics that like an anxious avoidant would be like concerned with and freaked out about, like, oh, what if they don't like me? Oh no, then they're gonna say this, and I'm gonna fuck it up. Like that kind of stuff. It's just not happening for the most part on our server, and so then the place feels really safe. and then they feel safe enough to attach to someone, but in the end, that attachment in the way they want it is not going to be reciprocated. And then that causes tragic problems for both parties involved. And then that just entrenches, like if it causes like a fallout and too much, like some weird drama or something, that'll just entrench the anxious avoidant person in their system, their issues, and that's going to entrench the Zoid, those on the other side of it as well, in their issues. And that's not what I intend to do. Why is my hair crazy today? Anyway, that is not what I intend to do with the server. I do not want people getting fucking hurt. We're already fucked up. Like, Jesus Christ. Right? Zoids already don't have a fucking place to go to. Fuck. I'm gonna fucking tear the hair on me. Anyway, they don't have a place to go to already. The best they got is maybe the Schizoid subreddit, but that place isn't vetted. That shit's just like you got all kinds of dismissive avoidance, ASPDs, all kinds of people in there that like isolate or have negative opinions about the world and people, and so stay away from people. Like, dude, that's so many fucking types of people that can do that can fall under that. That's crazy. That they're more comfortable when they're not socializing. What do you mean by comfort? No one asked them those questions, man. Crazy. And anyway, so I think I clarified some of that. I think I differentiated what I think is happening. I'm not shitting on people that are stay away from others because they are afraid of getting hurt or being left, right? That is valid. That is your experience. Those are your issues that you need to work on, but they are not schizoid issues. What's interesting is that's why we kind of have the Annex channel. The Annex channel, all the Zoids on there can see it. You don't have to apply to use it. You can look at the memes there. You can type messages to the Schizoids there. They can see it. You can at them if you know their username and if they accept notifications. You could interact with Zoids on the internet if you're like an anxious avoidant and you think, wow, Zoids are really chill. I feel safe around them. Then you could do that, but just know, if you connect to them in the way that you do, it's probably not what they want. Like, what they want's not going to be what you want, and what you want's not going to be what they want when it comes to a friendship or relationship or whatever. And to even make it work, it would require compromise that both people would probably already have a lot of trouble being able to do for their own individual reasons. Anyway, that's a different subject. I do want to talk one day more about like why there seems to be a propensity for schizoids to end up in or be a part of relationships with people that have BPD that ultimately end up like usually going south for both people. That I've talked about before, but I have a fairly strong understanding of what I think is happening there. But it's super common. I cannot tell you how many BPD, not more men, but BPD men. Schizoid men have told me like, oh yeah, I tried the girlfriend thing. It got weird, and it was because like they behaved a certain way for a certain amount of time, and then when it became obvious that this person could not provide them the validation that makes them feel safe, things go real bad for both. Emotionally, probably more so for the BPD person for sure. They're probably the one hurting the most at the end. But I don't know. Depends on the situation, I guess. So that's a really interesting subject. Dude, I've had like BPD women like hit me up. Not, oh, you're cool. No. Like, they want advice about their schizoid boyfriends or schizoid girlfriends. I had like dudes that have schizoid GFs, and like they're like saying like, oh, like how do I get her to like do this stuff with me? How do I get her to care about these things? And then like I read it and I go, oh geez, my brother, oh geez. Yeah, that's not happening, man. That's not happening. And yeah, I'll get into it some other time. It's like a mirroring thing that happens. And the way somebody, and I know a few people that are obviously like BPD and stuff, not schizoid or anything, and that's how I've heard it described. It's like they almost want to become the other person, or they don't want to, but they just start mimicking the interests, behaviors, attitudes that the person that they become attached to, and is providing them a sense of that safety. They sincerely, it's not even a strategy. It's not even like they're like, oh, they're thinking about like, oh, how do I get him or something. No, it's like it's an intuitive thing. It's just like they feel interested in things that person is interested in, even if they were never interested in that thing before. Anyway, had a clinical psychopath make a play for me. All right, interesting. Wouldn't hate reading that story. If you want to DM it or something, if you are on the server. Meanwhile, you're exercising authority. You don't even want to. Yeah, it says. Oh yeah, I hate having like, dude. That's what's so crazy. Like, that's another thing that I'm like, what the fuck? Like, the thought of like that there's people out there like running servers or being like Reddit mods and shit, you know, places like that like get off on like banning or suspend or like feel like good or empowered or get like schadenfreude or something from like banning people or suspending them. Like even if it's somebody I fucking disliked, right? Like, oh my, or they even if it's a shit poster shows up, causes all these fucking problems, I don't feel good about banning them. If it's someone like that, I'm just indifferent, and if anything, I feel relief that I don't have to deal with it anymore. That's it. I don't go like, hell yeah, fuck that guy, woo! Like, it's just, that's not fucking happening. Like, oh, I feel so good, fuck that guy, yeah. I showed him what for. Like, that's like alien to me. Unless it's like a playful, competitive context, like a game or something, you know, and then it's just fucking around, like, but to actually feel like good about like, I enforced my power upon you, like, it's like, what? And I get that most people, to some degree, obviously not to that exaggerated degree, like, they get something out of it, because it is like a social power thing. They get something, even if they're not like, even if they discipline themselves enough to be like, nah, that's a bad way to think about it. That's a bad feeling. There's like a tinge of that, I think, or something. For most people. And then there's the people where it's like, oh man, it's their fucking fuel. Those people just fucking like keep them away from me forever, please. Man, I have a few stories where like that kind of stuff happens. It's so fucking weird, and I could see people like getting ready to get rid of me, and I'm just like, it's the thing again. I said something that the person that runs the place disagrees with. Here it comes. Not even like showing up to be like one of those fucking being some kind of idiot devil's advocate because I want to trigger people type bullshit. I don't do that. It's fucking dumb. But like, oh, I'm just want to discuss an opinion I have on this, and it's like, get Steve, get the mods. This guy's saying the stuff. It's like, what? What am I saying? What's happening? Oh, I'm banned. Okay. Moving on. So weird. And like, I can imagine that they're probably like, because I've seen this kind of stuff when I've been, because I've moderated for like, not really Discord servers, for like a bunch of like, for other reasons. I've like moderated on like Telegram stuff and like whatever groups and shit. And like I've seen how like even when I was a mod or doing stuff like that, I would see how other people behave after like banning somebody, and I'm like, ew, stop, ew, brother, ew. Like I see it and I'm just like, yeah, I don't think I want to mod for this place anymore. They're like really getting off on this. It's fucking weird. Like they'll be like, yeah, we banned that fucking guy that disagrees with my opinion on something. Fuck that guy. Yeah, fuck him. Yeah. It's just fucking circle jerking everywhere. Like it's so weird. Like if you guys could see like how me and the mods react to like having to ban somebody, it's either kind of somber, unfortunate, or it's because like, dude, I don't want to deal with this shit. This is not gonna, this is gonna be a fucking mess. Let's figure it out. Let's make it as painless as possible. Let's so we can just keep things chugging along. Like they're like, I do not enjoy wielding power of any kind. I just don't. Which in some cases would make me a really bad leader for like regular people. I'd be a really bad leader. Because I'd just be like constantly arguing, and like they would like guillotine me because I'd be like arguing and like with like the tribe's wants and needs, like the consensus. I'd just be like, but what about this? What about that? And then they'd be like, get that guy, he's not one of us. But anyway, yeah, I think that's it. I saw a lot of views. I hope this was helpful in me, whatever. I'm figuring some stuff out with another person that is hopefully gonna help me with figuring out how I can get more like clips, compilations, or like from a stream, because I feel like I think I said some pretty decent shit that could be useful for a Zoid to hear when it like, it's been earlier, like the first half more, before like I got into the more servery related stuff. By the way, if you're not in the server, it's a Zoid Void. Join it, check it out, do the application, and then we will look at the application and we will look at it with as much good fucking faith as we can. But not to the point where we're just gonna assume like, oh, maybe they're just having a bad day today. Like, no. Nah, man. Okay? If you're having a bad day today, and you're like a Zoid or whatever, and you feel like, I don't know, doing something weird, don't apply today. Apply when you're not having a bad day. But honestly, a schizoid having a bad day is just like, all I imagine is, I'm not doing that fucking thing. That's too much. I'm just gonna go do something else. Like, that's what I picture. That's what I picture. Fuck, answer all these fucking questions. I'll do it tomorrow. Never gets to it. Yeah, that's what I imagine in my head. And if I saw that reaction from somebody, like, I'd be like, okay. Please apply tomorrow when you have more energy. Because I have a feeling this might be You know, if it's not just depression doing it, then yeah. Yeah. Dude, I've seen people when they're in a depressive state, they'll like exhibit a lot of kind of zoidy shit. Like a lot of the apathy and disconnect and stuff. But the moment they're out of that shit, like it's like a fucking switch. Like they're suddenly like extroverts. Like, wow, I just want to be around people. I love people. It's like, what is that? I've seen that kind of shit. It's scary, and they're not on drugs. One of the funniest things, and I gotta go in a second here, but one of the funniest things is hearing Zoids that have said, oh man, I took mushrooms and stuff, and I think I felt what other people feel about people. It's like, wow, they have to take psychedelics, some of them, to like, just like chemically force their way out of like, like, wow, I think I care about like my brothers. What? Huh? Took like LSD. It's even like, it's like, oh, I saw colors and shit and other stuff, but and like, you know, I saw some shit, but no, it was like, what was this? I was feeling this thing. That becomes like the novel thing of the experience. So fucking funny. Anyway, all right, guys, peace out. As usual, when day is dark. Oh, before I leave, join my Patreon. It helps out a lot. If you fucking hate Patreon, then just PayPal. If you hate that, then I have a coffee. If you hate that, then, or you're broke or whatever, just post the link to my streams where you think would be relevant. I tried before to post stuff. I don't want to do this subversively or anything, but I've tried before to post stuff as Schizoid Angst on the Schizoid subreddit, and like they like, yeah, I don't think they like that, and so, and I've had issues with that. So if you think some Zoids in there could find it useful, post it. Post the stream. Put a little paragraph saying, "Oh, this guy talked about this stuff," and then let them do a conversation. I don't have to be a part of it. I just want these things discussed. That's it. All right. As usual, when day is dark, always remember, happy day.